Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Real Hood Shit. I'm your host, Kiera, and today I am coming back to y'all because I finally got my voice back. I mean, it don't sound 100% the same, but I got my voice back, and so I wanted to get on here and talk about a few things that I didn't get a chance to talk about over the last couple of weeks. My son was sick for a week, then my husband was sick for a week, and then I just kind of got over my little sickness this week or whatever. So I'm ready to get back out here and connect. So for this week's episode, I want to talk about how a delay isn't always a denial. As y'all know, I graduated from massage school in October. And since graduating, I had this plan for how I wanted things to flow and how I wanted things to go. And I was really intentional about it. I know that I want to work for myself. I need the flexibility of not having to be tied to a certain kind of schedule, because I'm going through a lot with my son right now, and I need to be able to be at doctor's appointments at any given time, and I need to be able to show up at school when he needs someone to show up at school. I need to be available. And so I created this plan while I was in school so that, I would be setting myself up for success. And as I'm going through the program, I'm just checking all these things off this list that I have. And I get to the end of the program and my plan blows up in my face. I had on 420 a few years ago, I went out with a friend from work, and she had two guys with her. She was meeting up with one of the guys, and I was just supposed to be there to entertain the other person or whatever. So in the midst of that, we tried to go to 3 or 4 different places, and we weren't able to get into those places for some weird reason. So I suggested that we go to a place that is pretty popular in my hometown, as far as where people like to hang out or whatever. And we were in the parking lot and we were smoking. We was at the end of the parking lot of the business or whatever. We wasn't close to anybody. It wasn't no other cars around us. So we were smoking or whatever. Next thing I know, it's flashlights surrounding the car, and they're shining lights in the car or whatever. So the police pull us out the car, and we had a small piece of the blunt that we were smoking, and I had a grinder in my lap. And they pulled me out the car because I was in the driver's seat. They pulled out the passenger in the front seat. The two guys were sitting in the back seat. The guy that was sitting behind me had some weed in a sunglasses case, and he stuck the sunglasses case under the seat that I was sitting in. So nobody else in the car had anything weed related but me. So in his mind, he was just gonna kind of, she the one with the shit. So, she's the one. So they pull us out the car, and the cops was like, is this all you have? And I was like, yeah, this is all I have. And he was like, well, shit, this ain't enough to lock y'all up for nothing. So y'all just stay right here. Y'all were cooperative. We'll probably let y'all go. So Another officer came and another officer was searching the car. At this point, they had told us that nobody was going to jail. It wasn't enough weed to go to jail. You know, you just need to be more mindful of what you're doing or whatever. So the guy pulls the sunglass case from under the seat, and they were like, so whose sunglass case is this? The dude's talking about, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I looked them people dead in their face, and I was like, you know, y'all pulled me out the car with what I had. I told y'all what I had. This is what I had. Anything outside of that, I don't know anything about it. So they was like, well, do anybody else know anything about this? The girl who car it was, she said no. The guy that she was supposed to be talking to, she said no. The other guy, he just didn't say nothing. So they was like, okay, so since nobody's going to own up to it, we going to charge all y'all with this. So everybody ended up going to jail that night. I got out a few hours after that or whatever. And so the case was dismissed because I did community service or whatever. It wasn't an amount to be a felony, but it was an amount to be a misdemeanor or whatever. And I just didn't really want nothing on my record because I haven't had anything on my fucking record. So I went under first offenders and did, I went under first offenders and I did the community service. So now, after that though, I had got my, well, no, that was before I got my pharmacy tech license. Well, anyway, whatever. So now I'm at the end of this journey and it's time for me to turn in my application. It's time for me to turn things in to be fingerprinted. And they're saying, well, if you had any charges dismissed under first offenders, you have to provide the final disposition of the case. You need to write a written statement and all of that. Like, the city of Columbus, Georgia don't do nothing fast. They don't do nothing fast. If you need some shit and you in a fucked up position, Columbus, Georgia is the worst place for you to go and you need a speedy turnaround. They're the worst fucking place. So I had to get documents from Columbus and have them sent to me here in Atlanta to put my stuff together. I had classes lined up because I want to get into plastic surgery. I want to get into surgery recovery. I would like to kind of specialize in plastic surgery recovery. And I am fascinated by manual lymph drainage, like the type of massage that moves the fluids through the body to promote healing from the inside, like healing of the immune system. But I'm just fascinated by the human body, period. So I had classes lined up for that. I had a plan for a boutique salon place where I would be getting the hands-on training for that. Like, I would have my certifications when I come out of school. I would have everything ready, everything lined up. I've been making the steps. I've been present. I've been studying. I've been doing everything that I felt like I was supposed to do during this time in order to make my plan come to fruition. And when it was time to execute, it was like, I need to see if this is what you really want. Like, it's almost like God was saying, I want to see if this is really what you want. Like, I know that you put in the work to get here, but that was because what you felt like that was supposed to do. Are you still going to be faithful when it doesn't look like what you want it to look like? It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but are you still going to wake up every day with your focus? Are you still going to make the strides that you need to make in order to make your dreams come true? Are you actually going to do that? And at the beginning, I let my doubts really cloud my judgment, and I was so ready to give up because I wasn't able to take my class, so I don't have these certifications. And now, since I don't have these certifications, the job that I wanted is off the table because I have to get the certifications in order to get the job that I want, to get the knowledge and the know-how so that I can run my own recovery center, and it was extremely discouraging to me. But it also brought me back to a situation where I was just in a space of not understanding that my plan might be the best plan for me and the place that my life is going to go. Like, I know the plans that I have for myself, but I have no idea what kind of plans God has for me and what it's going to require of me and who it's going to require me to be in this new season. So I had to experience those delays. I had to be uncertain about those things because I wouldn't be in a place where I could trust that things were gonna work themselves out, because they always do, and I know they always do. And that's something that I don't have to question. I've come to accept and recognize that I have a connection with God on a different sort of level than I could have really imagined. And in those times where I feel like I'm not connected, but I can see certain things in certain situations, and I have these feelings like down in the pit of my soul, like there's God with me the whole time. And I need to stop leaning so much on my understanding. I don't make any decision without consulting God first. But I also feel like because things are going in a favorable way with exactly what I asked God for and how I asked God, that I kind of lean into that, and not understanding that God can make things happen in ways that I have no clue about, that I can't fathom the magnitude of what God can really do in my life. And I'm doing myself a disservice by limiting Him to just what I believe is possible based off of what has been revealed or shown to me on this walk. So I just want to come and say, things not going your way is probably saving you from something that you just really don't understand. There's a reason why I wasn't in that MLD class this past week. There was a reason why it took almost 2 weeks for me to get my license back. There's a reason why the people who I had lined up to watch my son for this class had started to fall through. Like there was a reason for all of this. It just wasn't time for me to pursue those things, but I was leaning on my understanding of what I felt like God could do based on how God was already moving in my life. And it just put a lot of things into perspective for me. Like, hey girl, you have no idea. You have no earthly idea what can happen. And the minute that I stopped putting the limitations on how these things can show up, so many other opportunities popped up. Now I'm a candidate for more than one massage place that is willing to teach me those techniques that I was going to go and pay thousands of dollars for. They're willing to teach it to me, and I'll be in a place getting the hands-on experience. And it's like a small family business, so I would be able to get an understanding of what it's like to run a small family-owned business, because me and my husband have a plan for something that we want to do. There's gonna be a family business. Like, my plan was great for me, but it can't touch the opportunities that are available because I got out of my own way. So I just want to let you know that I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. You know, I fall down a lot, but I get back up. And above all else, delay doesn't mean denial. It's either protection or salvation from a distraction. But it's never a denial. Just because something doesn't work out the way that you think it does doesn't mean it's not working out for you. All things work for the good of those who what? Okay. All right. I'm glad to be back. I missed y'all. I love y'all. And until next time.